So hey guys, welcome to my ride to work. So we've gotten some snow. Got some snow last week, end of last week, and it got colder and cooled off, and now it's warmed up, and we've gotten another little bit of snow overnight here. So we've got a snowy ride to work to deal with. So we're gonna get started. We've had two cold mornings. Like yesterday morning, it was I think around minus 18 Celsius, and the morning before that, like minus 18 Celsius. So that was interesting to deal with. Get a couple really cold mornings out of the way, which will become normal. You know, January, February, minus 20 is just a regular overnight low around here. So I'll be seeing lots of that. So I got my first taste of some real cold. Where did I put my keys? So yeah, for those cold mornings I really had to bundle up, put on lots of layers, and now it's only hovering around the freezing mark, so don't have to wear that much. Don't have to cover my face like the previous two mornings. I had to make sure my face was completely covered. But now, after those two cold mornings, this feels like summer, relatively speaking. So it's a few minutes before 7, and we're gonna start our ride to work. So we had a similar thing happen that we had happened last winter around this time, where it was warm, and then basically we got our first real storm, but it initially started as rain, and then it got progressively colder. It changed from rain to freezing rain to pellets, ice pellets, and then to snow. But what that means is underneath everything here, underneath all the snow, it was wet, and then when it got really cold, that all turned to ice. So underneath most of this stuff is a layer of ice. And now that it's warmed up, it's really wet down there, and it's making this fresh snow stick to the tires. Which makes the bike difficult to control. So there are scenarios where even a fat bike has problems. This is one of those situations. Your tire gets wet, and there's fresh snow. The snow will stick to your tires and give you issues, like essentially no grip, and make the weight of your tire noticeably heavier. The other issue that today's weather represents is this is actually supposed to turn to rain later, so it's going to completely cock over our winter wonderland experience. It's supposed to get above freezing daytime highs for the next few days, which isn't good for keeping this stuff around. You'll notice I'm trying to ride through clean snow here, and that's because that tire track there is down to the wet stuff. And if I get the tire wet as soon as I go into any of this clean snow, sticks to it. The other thing we could do, which don't really recommend, but it will make our lives a lot easier, just go up on the sidewalk. Yeah, way easier up here. So yeah, it's a really nice temperature. So the tire is wet. Now we're going into the fresh snow again, and the snow is sticking to the tire. Even a fat bike isn't the end all be all for riding in the snow. So we're sticking to the curb line here where snow seems to be reasonably firm underneath. So conditions are slower. Take longer for us to get to work today. Did manage to leave a few minutes early, but I knew they had forecasted snow, but wasn't sure when it was going to start, so there's no point getting up too early. I also knew it was only going to be a small amount of snow, so it's not going to make it so that we have to actually walk and push the bike in places, which sometimes if there's a big dump of snow overnight, that happens. There's so much snow, you might have to push the bike in places, especially if the city's been out plowing and has piles of snow at the end of streets and piles of snow on the entrances and exits of multi-use paths, which was a problem with this last snowfall. City plowed these huge piles on the entrances and exits of paths and didn't clean those up for days, so some of them were waist deep, higher piles. Which were mostly unrideable. There were some that you could actually get a run at and get over, which is always fun when you succeed doing that, especially if there's traffic around and they're watching you. It's like a little victory right in front of them. We'll hop on the sidewalk here. So we're doing this around 7 in the morning, so pretty rarely you see the occasional person walking, but you do kind of mostly have these sidewalks to yourself in the morning, and especially when the weather is not so nice. It has the secondary effect of keeping people indoors. So we're rocking our 45 North Dillinger 5 studded. There will still be icy sections underneath the snow, and that's one of the dangers when there's just a little bit of snow over top, because this amount of snow covers over ice but it's not enough snow yet to actually protect you from it, so your tires will still hit the ice, and if you don't have studs, there's a likelihood you could go down. So studs could still save me today. Because it's wet, brakes are going to squeal. High humidity. Go up onto the sidewalk here. Should be nice and enjoyable to ride. Quite a few walkers on this section. So we're quite close to our university, so a lot of these walking footprints are from students heading to school. So if we have a walker or a runner wearing reflective walking their dog, so we're gonna go out onto the street a bit till we pass them. Actually, we're gonna stay on the street. This is hard packed and reasonably fast. Got about a kilometer before we can get onto a multi-use path where life gets safer. We're protected from automotive traffic. I went and rode about 24 hours after the snowstorm stopped, went and did an off-road ride, and should have made a video about it. It was beautiful. It was barely rideable, like not much faster than walking pace when you're riding because of the snow, but it was absolutely beautiful. The snow on the trees, but I didn't because I knew I was worried large sections would be unrideable and that wouldn't make a very good video, but it turns out a lot of it was rideable, but it was just slow, very slow. Got some pictures from that ride on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, you can see those. Okay, so now we get up onto the multi-use path. I see a fat biker. It's been through here already, and I actually recognize those tires because he posted a picture on Instagram about his new studded tires. Oh, that might be him up front there that we see right now. I don't know if we'll be able to catch him. We might. Mind you, there's two tire tracks here. There's fat bike tire tracks and then just regular mountain bike tire trucks. Considering how quickly we're gaining on this person, I think he's riding a regular mountain bike in this shit. The city's already come and plowed that street, so it throws all the wet slop onto this trail. So sometimes they do that, then this trail becomes doubly unrideable. Like you get a dump of snow, plus the plow throws all the snow up here, so this is unrideable. So this is here so that we don't have to go and interact with traffic, but because of their maintenance system, we're forced out into traffic. When that happens, frick, that pisses me off. We're the most vulnerable users, and I pay the same taxes as these people in their cars in terms of city roads and bike paths. I want my frickin' bike paths plowed so they're safe for me, just like the car drivers want their streets safely plowed. Squeaky brakes. Oh, the guy we're gaining on, I think is on a fat bike. No, here's two tracks again, so. Here, we're gonna have to ride faster to catch this guy. Of course, he's coming up on the school, so he might stop when he gets there. I think he knows I'm coming, so he sped up. Yeah, he's definitely sped up. But we're gonna catch him because we're crazy cycling blogger, aka Fat Bike Freak. Nope, it's a fat biker. Dave, how you liking the tires? How you liking the tires? Good, good. Won't be much ice this morning. Yeah, so he bought some new set of tires, snowshoe XLs or whatever. May or may not need them today, but before today you really needed them. Yeah, we follow each other on Strava and Instagram. Don't really know the guy, but always support another hardcore winter commuter. Okay, I'm riding harder than I need to or wanted to try and ride away from him. Oh, the male ego. That noise, those are partially hardened human footprints. beautiful, beautiful morning. This snow makes it beautiful, but doesn't slow you down that much. It's cool and fun to ride through. Makes your tires quiet. So now you're seeing that this guy on the regular mountain bike, through some of this stuff, he's having trouble going in a straight line. He's squiggling and squirming because he's breaking through. That's something a fat bike doesn't do unless conditions get pretty extreme. That's why a fat bike is more fun. It's safer to ride in the snow. Control and confidence equals fun. Put a decent amount of space into them. The other difference is Dillinger 5s are, yeah, it's a studded 5-inch studded tire, but it's more of a low rolling resistance design. The tire he bought is a aggressive maximum grip kind of tire, so it gives me a bit of an advantage for speed. I don't have to work as hard. But of course there'll be conditions where he would have the advantage. Any deep, fluffy type snow where you need like big paddles to find every last bit of grip. There's quite a bit of ice on this section, so gotta be careful. You can hear the ice underneath me. So the temperature says minus 1.9, so very warm winter morning. Not much below freezing. ride my bike to work pretty diligently and pretty disciplined about it, because my ride to work is fun. The vast majority of the route is nothing but fun. If I do it 4 or 5 days a week, back and forth, especially in the winter time, it adds up to meaningful kilometers. So most weekdays I don't have to do any other riding in the evening, and then I just do bigger days on the weekends. Fat bike makes this sort of thing a safe, enjoyable experience. See that guy on a fat bike all the time. He think it's his only bike because in the summer he's fat biking to work. So yeah, we're sticking to the quieter side streets. The most main streets in town is just ahead of us there, that we're gonna have to cross at some point to get to some more quiet side streets. Actually, our average speed is pretty good. About the same as yesterday, up to this point. Of course, that part of the reason is because it's so warm. Not friggin' minus 18. So now some of the gears are getting clogged with snow. And here the chain starts skipping. I'm up here on the sidewalk for a bit. Yeah, I'm too ready to keep breaking the law, but I will say on plenty of snowy mornings, I've been up here on the sidewalk and cops have driven past in these kinds of conditions, but when it's really bad, I'm sure they'd rather see me up here surviving. Driving and surviving rather than getting taken out by a car. Back to the quiet side streets. Lucky I have this option that I can take these side streets instead of having to deal with the main streets. On the home stretch. So far it's been just under 38 minutes. We've actually made good time compared to yesterday. We're at about the same time. Part of the reason is I rode a little faster than I had planned because male egos got involved and I sped up to catch my Strava buddy there and make sure I put some distance into him. squealing brakes. Alright, so we're at work. We're just going to tool around so that we get 40 minutes, slightly over 40 minutes, and we're at 11.9 kilometers, so we'll get an even, well, a little bit over 12K. Big parking lot that will soon be filled up for a social services building that's nearby. Okay, we're at 12 kilometers. So there you go, my ride to work again, and I do it all winter long. I try to do it 4 or 5 days a week because it forces me, essentially it forces me to ride. So even on stupid cold days where you start questioning, oh, do I want to really go out and ride in those kinds of temperatures? I have to get to work somehow. It gets me on the bike, and riding to work and home in full-on winter conditions, it adds up to a meaningful amount of kilometers. And it actually, not to boast, but I believe, I'm fairly certain I have ridden more kilometers than anybody in the city I live in, and it's because I ride all winter, and I'm diligent and very disciplined about riding all winter. Whereas other people that drive to work, and then in the evening they're like dealing with minus 20, minus 25, and then they say, oh, I'm not going to go ride for pleasure in that. Whereas my commute forces me to go out and ride. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.